Today I'm going to do another short video on the most common types of visas for Spain so that this will give you an idea of the sort of things you need to plan for when you're thinking about moving out of whatever country you're in. So here are the top five visa types, the most common ones in Spain. The first one is the golden visa. Now, I don't know a lot of people that qualify for that, but it does exist. Basically, you have to either invest €500,000 in property, or you can have bank deposits of €1,000,000, and this will give you a long stay visa. Now, I'm sure it's very common for rich folks, but I don't know a lot of people like that, but I just thought I'd mention it. But apparently, it is very common and it's very popular. So there's a lot of rich people out there, it means. Now, the second one is for 17 to 30-year-olds, and it's the au pair visa. Now, basically, as an au pair, you get a contract with a host family for a year. That's the maximum time allowed. And during this year, the family gives you a room, and they also provide you with 50 to 70 euros a week for living expenses, like pocket money. And in return, you get to take care of the kids, maybe light duties, maybe exchange of languages with the kids. And this is a great way, if you're young, to get to know a country and see if you like it. So maybe if you're in between that, if you're in between 17 and 30, it may be something to consider to check out the country and see if you like it. And then, of course, once you're here, you can always try and figure out how to stay longer if that's what you wish. But it's a very common visa for people from the Middle East, from Africa, from the U.S. So it's a great way to learn the language also, because you're speaking with the kids and you're talking to them in English and they're replying you in Spanish. So, it's something to consider. But like I said, you have to be between 17 and 30 to be able to apply for that. Also, you need to register, of course, with the company where you're at. So like in the US, you find the au pair companies and you can register through them and then get the placement. And from then you can work towards the visa once you find the host family. So that's number two. The third most common type of visa is the student visa. Now everybody's familiar with that. If you want to come here to study, this would be the visa that you apply for. And especially if you're coming from a country or you already speak Spanish, it will be easy for you to follow the classes. Now, there are some universities that teach in English depending on what major you have. So it's something to look into. Maybe a student visa will be the one for you, or if you want to learn Spanish. A lot of students will come into the country that way, and then after that, you can always figure out how you can make it last longer. But of course, that's a great way. The schools are definitely, the tuition fees are definitely cheaper than the US, trust me. So that's something you can work towards. The fourth most common type of visa for people to come into the country is a work visa. Now basically, that is, a company files on your behalf. So maybe you're coming here to teach English to Spanish kids. You find a company that's willing to sponsor you. Now, these are really hard to get because you must have a specialized occupation, because basically, just like in the US, they want to give the job to local people. And so basically, your company has to prove that there is no other person from Spain who could do what you're doing. So when they can prove that, they can get approval from the government and they can file on your behalf. Now, a lot of teachers also come in this way because, they arrange to teach English. So this is a very, very common way for people to come in and get a job. Oh, I forgot to mention on the student visa too, that you can work 20 hours while you're in school. That's the maximum number of hours too. So maybe if you have savings, you could also put that with it. And if you can get a job, maybe at a bar or something, where there's a lot of English speakers, like the patrons, that would be something to think about. Now, the work visa, like I said, that's a really hard one to get, but it's easier if you're teaching English, and there are tons of opportunities because Spanish people are always looking to learn English so they can have a better uh, chance of getting a job, and they can move away because the unemployment in Spain is really quite high. So a lot of younger folks need to learn other languages to better their chances, especially if they have the strength, the braveness to move. But I find a lot of people don't. But there are younger ones that are coming along, and there are a lot of corporations that are teaching their employees also in English so that they can compete on an international ground. So work visa is something that you can look into. Maybe this is now the time to start um, brushing up on your skills. Maybe start one of those English as a foreign language courses, CELTA. I know in Spain the CELTA one is the preferred one. So maybe you can kind of start doing that, and then it's easier for you to find a job when you're ready to move. But it's just something to think about. The fifth one, which is common to a lot of expats and people that are self-sufficient, is the non-lucrative visa. Now, that one is what I wrote about in my book because that is the one I was most familiar with, and without a doubt is the most common one, at least from what I've seen. Basically, you have to prove to Spain that you're not going to be a burden on society. So you need to show them that you have enough to live on without working. Now, it's still possible to work elsewhere, like in the U.S., because they have a no double taxation treaty. That means that once you pay your taxes in the U.S., you're not taxed again here up to 101,000. So it's good for a lot of people that have portable jobs or remote work that you can do from here or anywhere. So that one is the most common one, bar none, the non-lucrative. And it depends on which area of Spain you're in for what the actual monetary requirements are. But it runs anywhere, they just increased it really to like 25,000 for a couple a year. So let's say 12,500 will get you through the year. So basically you need to show them your funds, that you have it available, and that you will have it for the whole year. You need healthcare coverage with no copay. That's very important because if it has a copay, you will not be able to use it. So a healthcare plan with no copay, and you will apply for it from your own country, and it's good for a year. And I have it listed where you can go for information on my book. If you're interested, I'll put the link down below. But of course, there's no pressure. This is your deal. It's just the book is skewed more towards non-lucrative visas coming in from the US or Canada and moving to Valencia or any place else. The paperwork that you need to move into the country is the same, and then wherever you go, that's up to you. So those are the most common types of visa for Spain. Now, the more uncommon one, they have a business visa. If you have if you're into research, but they're really hard to get. You must be doing, research. So if you're a chemist or something like that, something that's useful to the country, you can have that. They have an entrepreneur visa, but like I said, those are really kind of hard to get and they're very specific. So for most folks, the one that they will qualify for will be one of the ones that I've mentioned. Now, in the future videos, I will go over healthcare, like the difference in costs between the US and here. But for now, I think that gives you a little bit of food for thought. And since moving is not going to be something that you just decide on a whim to do, this can help you sort of plan out and kind of lead you on the way to making a final decision as to leaving and trying to find a new place for you. So I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, please like it and also subscribe to the channel.